So I am Rob Birt, Designer and Illustration, and for the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to ask you to sit back and watch.
Congratulations! You're a grown-up now, and life has suddenly become more complicated. You have so many options to choose from. Will you go to college, start a career, travel? So many responsibilities now rest on your shoulders. Bills, tuition, rent, taxes, food. Things quickly become complicated, and expenses add up fast. You want to make smart choices, but you might feel a little overwhelmed. With today's technology, life should be easy to manage. After all, you live in a smart world with smartphones, smart cars, smart keys, smart TVs. Heck, there are even smart dogs. But you know what else is smart? You. You survived high school. You broke events, download music, stream live video, and make purchases from the comfort of your phone. You do things every day that previous generations deemed impossible. You are creating your life in a sci-fi universe. All you need is your phone, a little money, and the right weapons. Savvy is changing the way people like you control money. We provide the right financial tools for this complex world. We are changing the conversation about money. For starters, let's stop calling it money. What you have is capital. Money is spent, capital is invested. We think it's time to provide you with financial tools that are at least as smart as you are. So we have decided to build them. Introducing the Savvy Account, a spending account for the modern world. It's kind of like your checking account turned up to 11. We make it safer so you have more to work with. We make it smarter so you can act on real-time information. We make it engaging so you can stay on track. And finally, we make it good so you will never be without it. Best of all, we make it easy because you have a life to build and don't need little complications getting in your way. We would tell you more, but that would just spoil the surprise. For now, let's leave it at coming soon. Oh, and you can follow us on Twitter for the latest information and help us create a new conversation about money. I mean, capital. It's smart, easy, mobile, and almost fun. Now that's savvy.
Now, no, I have not changed my name to Savvy Finance. That's actually one of my clients, and that's a service that I provide. Generally, this is called Flash Animation. What they're ending up, the fad name for it now is explainer videos. It's based in illustration, it's not videography, and it's not generally what your average graphic designers end up doing, or your general graphic designers end up doing. It's a very special niche area. In that video, we ended up having director, copywriter, myself, the animator and illustrator, and sound editor, as well as the voiceover for all of that content that went on there, plus the actual client's input and stuff like that. In that area, I guess this is going to be kind of like a two-part presentation, because I'm going to actually open it up for if anybody has any questions about what I did. So, otherwise I'm going to go on.
All those little illustrations, you hand drew each one of those and then put them on and photographed them? And
Yeah,
put them on
actually each one of those, each one of the parts that you see moving around in the video, it's each one of those is a separate actor that actually sits on a stage and actually does a certain movement. And in that animation, there were probably about somewhere in the neighborhood of 280 to 300 actors that were created for all of that, and then moved around on the screen.
Do you mean by actors like real people? Or?
No, each item is actually considered an actor that sits on. If I were to call this area, this would be my stage, and so then I actually have 283 different images that actually go up onto this screen and move around. Now, whether they move in tandem with other things, like your arm would end up having, in a stick kind of example, like what was going on there, the upper arm actually moves separately from the lower arm, and each one of those is an individual actor. I can also
Do you draw those actors, or
Yes.
is this what you do?
Yeah.
And then the computer enables them to move?
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't have to, like old school, where they had to draw every frame.
So-
You're drawing one
In
frame.
that process, correct.
Yeah.
There's what's called tweening,
Uh-huh.
which allows you to actually create a motion of between this step
Mhm.
and this step.
Mhm.
It basically does the whole thing for you.
Mhm.
Now, can I do that for you? Absolutely, but that's going to be a lot more expensive than that, because
Sure.
you're basically
Yeah.
talking about individual images
Yeah.
per thing. When you actually think about the process on that, there's generally about 30 frames per second, so each one of those is an actual different picture when they're actually doing the animation for like Disney and stuff like that. When you get up to a minute, this is about 2 or 3 minutes long. 30 times 60 per minute. You can go up, you know, and figure if you're even paying $100 per image, that can get expounding. And we're only talking about the imagery at that point. We're not talking about the copywriter.
And how does like Disney do it now? Are they still doing, or are they doing really animation
They
with the computer?
do a combination of all the above.
A combination.
There's, well, like Tarzan. Tarzan was actually a layered 3D process that wasn't specifically 3D, but it also ended up incorporating the old style animation plus the layers, because when you're actually developing stuff, you can actually put this item in the computer behind this item and then actually create a shadow on it and create more depth just by placing this image out here.
Is this practical for small businesses, you have to put on their websites?
This project specifically ran about a few thousand dollars after all was said and done. It can start at probably around about $500 and go up from there. It depends on your budget as a small business.
How much per charge or what we get? When you say it depends on our budget as a small business, would you then go in and say, okay, well, my budget's $1,000 or $500, and then you would say what would be possible?
Right.
I was just thinking, like Perry just did a great job on a website for me. I was just thinking, wow, this would be better, you know, with something like that. And that's just
Well,
this is awesome.
and this targeted a very niche group. This targeted, you know, people who are just getting out of high school and wanting to go into taking care of their money issues and possibly look at it from a different perspective. In that respect, we also, it's a very simple style thing that went along with the process of the flash animation, as well as made it cute and interesting for that demographic.
It's engaging, Rob. That's, I think, what draws people to it is, it's, you know, it was like, whoa, that's kind of fun. It makes you
Right.
want to
Well,
watch it. And I can
and
see for an attorney, it could be very fun.
That's one of the
Yeah.
things that they basically end up saying, that with the use of the videos like that, like the explainer videos, your actual viewing goes up 68%.
Say that again?
Increases. That when you're viewing a video, because it's cute and fun and you're expecting a certain type of dynamic and interest out of it, that your viewership actually increases 68%.
You know what the average length of explainer videos?
You really want to get it down to about 2 minutes or less. This goes over, but he's actually doing, they're wanting to do kind of like an edummercial type of thing as time goes on.
I can feel it go over.
Yeah.
You can feel it go over and you're just
Know your attention away a little bit.
Yeah.
Where is it marketed? Is it on their website?
Yes.
Is it YouTube? Is it like what?
It's wherever they want to put it. Right now, they're putting it on their website. I believe it's getting fed off of the YouTube server.
You should use lead pages.
Hmm?
Tell them to use lead pages, that way they can have a newsletter subscription sign up pop up at the end?
That's where I'm not a web designer. I have no intention, there's tons of them out there, and those who offer that, offer it at a more cost-effective solution than I can. And usually they end up having packages and stuff like that, that they can actually get that done for you a lot better than I
So, Rob, I've seen a lot of these, in fact, see them all the time, which are like whiteboard presentations, you know, sped up so that you see drawing it and then erasing it. Is that something you do as well?
can. Yeah, again, you're, at that point, you're paying per illustration that you're gonna end up going over, that complete illustration, and then basically talking about the animation process. And again, you're gonna end up going, are you gonna do the voiceover? Are you gonna call in the voiceover? Are you gonna
I
have
think
someone
Jim can definitely do the
copyright for you?
voiceover.
What?
I think you can definitely do the voiceover, that nice baritone.
But-
voice,
All of those things, all of those
Slow to
things,
get anything except my name in 2 minutes.
all of those things are different price points that if you're wanting to pick those up, or if you have another solution than what I can offer you, that's gonna knock your price point down. Is it possible for this to go up into the tens of thousands range? Very easily and very quickly.
And, well, I'm sure.
In that respect, like I said, I'm not your general,
When I did the presentation about the sharing economy, and I had ones on Airbnb, Uber, and it was the little animated kind of stick figures, I would characterize, very comic book figures. Is that done with the same process?
that would be done with what I just showed you.
Okay, but they were complete images, it wasn't disjointed arms and body parts.
Right, again, that's a matter of how, budgets, style, decisions, and that extended type thing, so. Because each, like I said, each one of those, I kind of work on a level of detailed process as to how I charge things, and for a lot of people, that's kind of rather ambiguous, but it's the only way that I can actually, the more detail that I put into it, the more time I'm actually putting in on a project, and that way I can get reimbursed appropriately.
So I have one more question for you. For a small, independent business person, in your view, what's the most cost-effective video-based piece that you could put up on your website, YouTube, Facebook page, and all of that? Is it going to be this? Is it just going to be a simple video with narration? Is it going to be, I mean, you know, facing the camera kind of, what's going to be the least expensive thing?
What's being said about, as far as, again, it's who you're trying to target. Your millennials, what they're discovering is that there's something on the web called Vine, and basically what they have are 7 seconds to your point across. That's not 7 seconds.
Vine, did you say?
Vine.co.
And it's becoming very huge between for the millennial generation. The older crowd is actually going to be more interested, more likely to stay in tune to something that's going to potentially go over 2 minutes. But even then, you're kind of stretching it. Cube is, there are 3 things that sell marketing-wise that are laid in stone, and that's business, cute, and sex. And if you can tag on to any one of those 3 things, you're going to get more views, period.
What's an example of tagging on to business?
Tagging on to business,
Do you mean money or?
business, because you are making money, it's a high interest prospect, basically. It's sex is a high interest prospect because we're reproductive individuals. Cute is a high-interest prospect because it relieves stress. You know, when you see a cute little kitten playing around on the ground, you're going, "Aww," and you've got that emotional tug into the whole thing. It's a psychological thing. So money, business, it's a power growth thing. So it's a high interest motivator for people to be watching what you're showing.
Could have
Thanks,
a cute
Rob.
little kitten getting paid for sex.
I've seen that.
On that note, bring us back to the point. Thanks for the presentation.
Now it's
That was very informative. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.